You know, and as Bill talked earlier about people who were instrumental, and what I'm going to say before I introduce these folks, because I'm really, really proud to introduce them, I'm just going to ask them to stand and wave so that we don't keep everybody here in this sort of a marathon press conference of 6 hours. But everybody that I introduce will be available outside here, not outside in this glassed area. I'm not sure what that is exactly called. John, what's that called? The veranda, thank you. Out in the veranda, the people from Granite City call it Blaston area. And so they'll be available out here to take any questions that you might have, whether your fans, your members, supporters group, your media, whoever it might be, will be out here to take some questions. And before I get to them, speaking of supporters groups, I do want to say one thing. You guys, you see these scarves that are around people's necks out here. This group of guys that I see generally over here, Patrick Madigan leading the charge with each brigade. It's been a great supporters group for us. They are giving these scarves away, which is incredibly nice of them. And they've been with us from day one. And so for each brigade, I'd just like to say thank you to you. So with that, I'm going to introduce the guy who, if you asked me, who was pivotal to making this actually happen, it would be this gentleman. I met him through a mutual friend about 3 or 4 months ago, and he said, I have a real interest in soccer in America. Football in America is actually what he said, because he's from London, England, and I would really like to see what's out there. So we went and sat down with he and his brother and presented what we had in St. Louis. He already knew a huge amount about St. Louis, knew about the history of the game here and everything else. And I didn't have to get 5 minutes in before he said, I'm in. I want to do it. I want to help you. I want to invest. I want to be an active part of it. And I've got some other people that I think you'll be interested in that we can talk to. And so with no further ado, I'd like to introduce my partner, a member of the AC St. Louis Board of Directors and good friend of mine, Kemal Vague. Every club begins with the head coach, and we're also very pleased to announce the current coach, and my French is awful, and so I'm going to butcher this name, FC Trappe. Come on, Top. Sorry, FC Top. And again, a very, very good friend of mine, somebody that's going to lead this club to a number of victories, and somebody who you guys will get to know very, very well in the near future, Claude Anelka. The name Anelka sounds familiar. Claude's younger brother, much younger. No, not much younger. Brother Nicholas plays for Chelsea, so they are clearly a soccer family, and Claude's going to bring a huge amount to this club. The next gentleman that I'd like to introduce really almost needs no introduction in the soccer world. He will come on board as our Director of Player Development, working with young players from the age of 14 in this area, no matter what club you're in, from 14 all the way up to 21, 22, 23, every player in our club who would like to develop their game. I'll tell you a little bit about this gentleman. He's Brazilian by birth, played his professional soccer in a number of different countries, ended up in France, became the coaching director at Clairefontaine, which is the world-renowned facility for the French National Federation, producing players. They've under his direction, they produce players like Thierry Henry and Nicolas Anelka, William Gallas, Louis Saha. I could go on and on and on. Basically, when you watch France play in South Africa in June, every single one of those players, that might be a little bit of an overstatement, but not much, every single one of those players was developed by Francisco Filho. About 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago or so, he was called by Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United and said, Francisco, we need you. We have this kid that we just got from Portugal. We think he's a can't-miss player. We need you to leave Clairefontaine and come over, be the director of our academy program at Manchester United and tutor this young man to see if we can really make him a world-class player. So Francisco left Paris and went to Manchester and coached Cristiano Ronaldo one-on-one for 4 years. Wanted to get back to Paris, so left Manchester United about a year and a half ago, and really believes that America is the great untapped frontier for player talent in this world. And so when we began speaking with he and Claude, he said it was the easiest choice that he's ever made to come to America and be our director of player development. Obviously, the resume speaks for itself. So with that, I introduce Francisco Field. So that might be the quickest press conference ever, announcing 165 things. And so I appreciate everybody coming out. I'm going to throw it back to Bill McDermott. And again, you know, and I can't say this enough, it really comes from my heart. For everybody here, all the work that you've all done to get us to this point, I really appreciate it. The good news is we're here, right? The bad news is we got a lot of work to do going forward. So, you know, again, thank you. Look forward to working with each and every one of you to make this club a real success. Thanks again.